Hey everybody, good afternoon. Here we go. Maybe adjust this a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. That's an issue, isn't it? Okay, let's see. See what I can do here. Have a happy Thursday, everybody. How are y'all doing? Hey, Dan. We have charred wings and heat tender and awkward Potter. Welcome. Mrs. JD, you're going to be glazing today. Yay. Hey, Triceratops. Getting set up so I can fix the camera. Here we go. There we go. Thought the whole thing might be frozen at first. There we go. Yay. All right. Hey, Wonder Hamster. Just trying to get my cameras fixed. Did I not bring a cutty tool with me? Did I? Is that... Oh, is that what? Because you've got control of the computer too? Okay, okay. Let's see. I thought you were talking about the other one. Okay, I'm gonna do that and see if that helps. So, what I'm gonna be doing today, I've got a few more mugs to put together. Made last night. I didn't get them all put together. So I'm doing that, and so I've got some medallions made up already. I just had to make a few more just to be able to fill in all of them. So I probably should count and see how many more I need. So I need 10 more, which I think I can do. Whoa! Awkward Potter, thank you so much! Oh, wow! You're amazing! Thank you so much for the gifted subs to the channel. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to all the new Muddy Buddies out there. There we go. Had to cut that out. Yeah, thank you again. That's the way to start off a Thursday right, isn't it? Let's see. I know we've got this. We don't want to do that again. We want to go to Electro Swing and play this. Play lots of other songs. There we go. And so don't forget, guys, no matter how you get your sub, you can now join our Discord. We have, like, anybody can look at our Discord, but if you want to post in our Discord, you have to be a sub. And it doesn't matter how you get that sub. And your sub will also let you access the coupon code that you can find in Discord that will give you 15% off of anything on the website. There we go. So, the way I make my medallions for the mugs is what I'm doing right now. We have a very, very thin slab of clay. Like, I can take some of the excess off the sides and show you, like, it's very, very thin. And we've got our rubber stamps here. That we press into the clay to make a good impression there. Let's see. And then we'll, once I fill up this slab, we will kind of peel them off of the canvas, and then we put them on the mugs, and that's how we can customize everything. I love my tux emote, my tux eye roll. Yeah, you're really excited for your sewing kit. Yeah. There's like so much potential when you get new craft supplies. Yeah. Now I'm going to peel this up to make sure I've got all the letters making a good impression. And I originally cut this out as a circle, but I kind of like it better as a rectangle. So I'm going to cut it out as a rectangle. You've got a lot of stuff in storage. You're waiting for everything to be finished, like at your new house, before you unload the storage. Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Mikey. Good afternoon. Hope everybody's having a good day. Or at least not a bad day, you know? I guess I've kind of left my spot here on the camera. But I'm cutting out some of these guys. Let's see where I want to put this. This is like putting puzzle pieces, not putting puzzle pieces together, or just trying to efficiently use up all your space and not have a lot of stuff left over. So now we're over here on this side. And I just freehand cut these guys out. I don't usually work with a huge piece of clay with this because it is so thin that it will dry out quickly. And so if I make a really huge slab, like one side of it might dry out before I can get everything pressed into it. So work in small batches. I'm going to see if there's any more I want to do. Now this one, the medallion shape is what I cut out, so it's kind of easy to do. Let's check it to make sure. Yep. Did the fleece already? I think I'll do another fleece. And I can do, well, I thought I could make it fit up there, but I need a little bit more room than that. My shirt is very close to the color of the clay it is. Here we go. Sometimes the hardest part of preparing pieces, like making things for stock, is picking out what you think might sell versus what, you know, because you never know. You never know what might sell. So that educated guessing is kind of what I'm doing right now. I said I needed like 10 after this one, so 8. Like I know there's 1 or 2 here that I haven't done that I can make space for here, because I've got my box of stamps here that's got like everything in it. There we go. Yarnaholic, which is up here. There we go. You can see the Yarnaholic. Chard, thank you. That's what we try to do. Try to keep it relaxing. It's you know, the whole process for me is very relaxing, so I'm glad it's like that for other people. These are the medallions that are going to go on the mugs. So, do I even have a mug over here? So, like this one is... It froze again, I'm sorry. I couldn't even tell. There we go. So the medallions are going to go on the mug. And as you can see, like on the mugs, the medallions are a little bit raised off of the mug. That's because I make the mugs, throw the mugs, and then attach these thin pieces of clay to them that have had the impressions stamped into them. Because it's much easier to stamp something that's flat. You get a good even impression, cut it out, and then you can kind of arrange it on the mug, make sure it's centered and level. And so it seems to work out much better that way. Oh, was that just, I just need one more? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I'll do one more just in case. Knitologist and Yarnaholic. So these are all like specifically yarny pieces that are going to go to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. Okay. And this is kind of like one of the more satisfying parts to me, where I can to see if I could peel all this up like in one piece. I know I'm not going to, but it's always fun to try. It's kind of like trying to peel an apple in one piece. And if I need to redo something, I'll try to keep this little bit of clay in case I miscounted and I need more things. So put both the mugs and the medallion in the bisque firing. So I'm going to assemble the mugs that I threw last night. They're not quite dry yet. And then once everything is dry, they are one piece and they go into the kiln. So they're not fired separately, if that's what you're asking. So we'll get these up. Normally I don't pick at them like that, but I knew that one wasn't going to get warped. So the best way to get these up is to kind of lift up the canvas and then peel it away. And you can get under these and lift them up without stretching them out that much. And because these dry out so quickly, like it has its pros and its cons, because I can touch them without like messing them up, but then I've got to work with them very quickly before they dry out. So there's that. I'm going to move this piece of canvas out of the way and let it dry. And I left my box of handles back here. Let me get it. Now I've got more than just the mugs to put together, because I have some of the yarn bowls that I want to make into the double yarn bowls. So I've got those handles in here too. Very important paw print stamp. So I might actually need to do the yarn bowls before I do the... Because I've put those handles on top, so I'll have to move those to get to my regular handles. So let me get those. Still got the paw print stamp. Okay. So these are two of the regular yarn bowls, the 6-inch yarn bowls. And I glued them together last night. And I'm going to put a handle between them, like on top of them. But first I've got to cut the hole that the yarn bowl hooks in them. So I'd rather do that now. And so makes it easier if they're a little bit higher up here. Phoenix the Cryptid, thank you for the sub. And thank you for using your Prime sub here on our channel. And welcome. So this is, I don't know, I've not done all that often on stream because it's a little bit awkward to cut the yarn bowl hooks out with everything I've got set up here. But what I do is I have a pipe that's cut at an angle that I use to cut the holes out with, and it's a hole cutter. You can buy it as a tool for many different things. And then I just cut a hole out for one side of it. I was like, where's my water bucket that I'm on top of it here. And then I just use one of the regular cutting tools, similar, the same size as an X-Acto knife, to cut through the clay to make a yarn bowl. And these guys, the consistency is leather hard, so like you see, I was kind of like reshaping the bowl a little bit. I can still kind of move them a little bit without causing the clay to crack, but it is they're stiff enough that they will hold their shape. I don't know if I can do this any better over here. So I kind of sketch out the hook, and then cut all the way through the bowl. And so what I usually do when I have a bunch of these to cut out is I'll sit them on my shelves that I have in the studio and like line them up on a shelf at fairly eye level so I can see what I'm doing. And then this one over here, you're not going to be able to see it very much at all. There we go. Oops. All right, Chard, have a good nap. So we've got the hooks, and with these being bigger, I'm going to go ahead and put a second hole here. It's partially as a design element, but also it will allow, if you wanted to use more than just 2 balls of yarn, like you could put 2 in each one, 2 small in each one, and then pull from 2 different sides. And then I've got another set. And I really, once I get these together, like I really don't want to touch them again. So, because the more you touch something, the more you're gonna like weaken the join that is here. So that's why I keep them on the bats. And then we'll get our handles out. Can I put this here? Yeah, without blocking the camera? Yes. Okay. I'm using the extruded handles still that I've used before. So and before I stamp the ends of this, I'm gonna just kind of see what this looks like, if it's long enough, if it's too long, because what I want to do is I'll do it that way and then twist. That's good, yeah. It's gonna be plenty of room, say. So, oops. I'm going to put the paw print stamp of approval on here first before I actually attach it to the pot, because once I get the handle in there, like the stamp won't fit. And so I'm going to put some slip on here. The slip is, like you can see, it's just the watered down clay. This is the dregs of my throwing bucket from yesterday. So I just poured all the water off the top and left the thicker stuff at the bottom. Just put some slip on there and Put it on the wrong side. There we go. We'll smooth that out. And now that I know where things are going to be touching, I can put a little bit of slip right there and right there. And like I said, I'm going to try not to touch this as much as I can. Make sure we're level and just let it sit. But double yarn bowl. Soup with cheese and tears. What? Thank you for the follow. How can you be sad when you have cheese? I've not put slip on the individual pieces I have put together here because I've got this just two handles put together. Because they were soft enough when I extruded them to just kind of stick together by themselves. Now put some slip on this and try to do it the correct way this time. And put it on the correct side. Yeah, here we go. And then I'll be making the smaller versions of these guys as well. Because the smaller versions are what I originally made. That's what I made the smaller bowls for yesterday. There we go. Make sure this side is good. Okay. See if it'll stay like that. Where'd all my bats go? Well, here's 2. So I can be happy with that. Hey, Art, good afternoon. And Lady Athrena, welcome to the Muddy Buddies. Nope. I had my wire cutter. So sometimes when I cut the pieces off the tiles, they stick again. So let's get that one off. Okay. There's close-up of the bowls. There we go. So I've got 4 of them here. And before I glue them together, I'm going to actually cut the hooks out before I glue them together. Now these are the smaller versions, the regular, or what I started off with, and so they're going to look like the ones I just put together, just a smaller version. So this is 2 4-inch bowls instead of the others, which were 2 6-inch bowls. So you can use a stencil, you can sketch it out. Usually I sketch it out before I just start cutting all the way through. And then I give the hook a little bit of a wiggle, or sometimes just take it all the way out and put it back in to make sure I haven't missed a spot. And then I leave it in there so that as the piece is drying, like I feel like it helps it warp less and helps the yarn bowl hook from sagging, because there's nothing there to hold it up. Okay. So a little bit of hand building, assembling today. There we go. I was like, I thought I was doing, had the camera on the right one. I'm not sure there's a real good way for me to show what I'm doing on these. Maybe a C Knot Bush is Chris's like harmonica holder thing that he uses. Hey, Kara. Now, it'll be this one. Okay, like where am I pointing my camera? Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, get the handles out. These are cut to 10 inches. And then I'm going to put my finger through it. My fingernail took a chunk out of that. That's why I don't have fingernails, so I don't do that very often. Some slip on there. And these are still soft enough that I can kind of squish them a little bit together on the sides there. Okay. Okay, paw print stamps. Okay, that one's good. We'll do the other side. Alright, and then only thing left to do is just let these things dry. And like I said before, I'm going to try not to bother them too much. Because the more you poke and prod at them, the more you're going to like disturb the join that we've put together, and you just don't want to bother that. Okay. So, double yarn bowls. And I can do one more, so I've got one more bat here. Let's grab a couple more of them. I think besides teapots, these are one of the most delicate things I have that I try to clean up and make and clean up before they go into the kiln, because what I have to do is once they dry and everything sets, I've got to go around and like smooth out the mark that I've made here, that sharp edge. And I've got these two bowls, very awkwardly connected with a handle, and I've got to clean those without knocking off the handle or breaking the yarn bowl hook or separating the bowls. So pretty sure every time I do that, every time I try to clean them up, I'm like, why do I make these? Why do I do this to myself? You have an ad for nitpicks. Oh, that's funny. Well, they are still for you. They're not for a shop. Oh, Insomnia Doodles, thank you, even though I know you can't hear me. Did you sell the ones you have? I think I have another one I can glaze for you. Did you sell the 3 that you had? I mean, I've got the little bowls. I could make them into that because I don't know that the mini yarn bowls were something that we ever, sold that many of. Would you rather me make the other ones into the nut bowls? I could do that. Or at least one. Because I've got another handle. You have one, okay. Mm-hmm. Just gonna see which one fit together the best. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like the double yarn bowls and maybe even the nut bowls too, you can order on the website. There we go. So this one, I'm not going to do anything with this one. It's going to be, I'm going to attach them. This is going to be a nut bowl now. Or snack bowl. Snack bowl, nut bowl. There we go. And the nut bowls came about because I forgot to cut the yarn bowls in the yarn bowl ones. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? It's kind of pretty. I don't want to just toss it. It's going to be a snack bowl. That's what it's going to be. But it works. Little condiment bowl, whatever you want to use it for. And since we're going to be carrying peanuts from the Tennessee Peanut Company, it works out. All right. Just let them dry out. Okay, just rearrange a bit there. So this is, how I threw the mugs on these tiles, and some of them release fairly easily. Some of them are a little stuck, so I'd rather cut it off again rather than try to like stretch out the mug and warp it. So we've got a mug, and I've got some handles. Got some handles. And we've got some of our medallions here. Right, Ark, now I'm only going to hear that. Grapefruit diet. So let's see if we can see what I'm doing here. Put the mug together, and then I'm leveling out the medallion on the piece, and then pressing it into place and just smoothing out the edges with just a little bit of slip. And we have a mug that is put together, and now all I've got to do is let it dry out, and then we'll clean it up and put it in the kiln. It's got some maybe some rough edges, sharpness around the bottom, or it's got like fingerprints on it from where I've been patting it down or adjusting. I wait until it's completely bone dry to go back and clean it, because right now I'm going to make more of a mess than I'm going to clean up. So once it's dried, like the shape is not going to move anymore, then I can go over it very easily with just like a lightly damp sponge and just smooth out the clay. I've got like 25 of these to assemble. So we put some slip on the top and the bottom of the mug. The handles are all cut to 7 inches, and these are extruded handles. Some people call them strap handles. And then this is the most important part of a mug, the paw print stamp of approval. Here we go. The quality control specialists are hard at work over here. I think they're actually snoring. But never fear, every piece does come with its 2% cat fluff. So once I have all the pieces and parts made up and together, it doesn't take that long to assemble everything. Here, let me take a phone call real quick, okay? I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Apparently we had a FedEx freight vehicle outside of our house, and Daniel's like, did you order anything? Are you expecting anything big? But I think the poor driver was lost, which is easy to do in our neighborhood. Easy to do, so. Billabob, thank you for the follow. And good afternoon. How long do I let them dry before I do the assembly process? It depends on the weather. It does. They need to be leather hard, preferably a soft leather hard. If you're talking about the mugs, like this one right now is like I'm holding it very, very gently because it can squish. Like I can squish it very easily. But it's dry enough that it's a little bit sticky, but it's dry enough that I can hold it. And you want the mug to be softer than the medallion. If the medallion is softer than the mug, then it's more than likely to crack. So there's a certain point where you can't just add stuff like this to the mug. It just won't attach very well. Sometimes in the winters, like, so we're in southern Kentucky here, so it's fairly humid most of the year. During the winter time, sometimes it only takes a couple hours to let the mugs dry out before I can assemble them. But like yesterday, I threw these this time yesterday, and I was able to assemble some of the first ones I did last night. But some of the last ones I did at like between 5 and 6 o'clock, I had to cover them up and work on them today. So sometimes I have to just cover them up loosely with plastic and let them slowly dry out for a little bit, and then put them together. But yeah, you just want them to be leather hard. And each clay body is going to have its own drying time. Some dry out quicker than others. Yeah, Kira, I don't think I want anything to do with that. I don't know that I would enjoy watching that. Do I have to do anything to the clay I'm using for the medallions and whatnot to dry it up enough so the mugs are softer and it's drier than them? No, because these are so thin, they dry out quickly. Usually the issue is getting them to not dry out too much. Having them out in the open, I've got to keep the other ones covered up so that, in an hour, they're going to, if I let them just sit out and dry, it may be like 30 minutes and they're gone. So yeah, I usually worry more about the state of the mugs than the medallions. Oh, well, see, yeah, if you just wanted to see, yeah, Johnny Depp, and then you've got that, yeah. And this one is Star Wars mug says, "That's no moon, that's my yarn stash." And then this is the best one ever. It is the very first, oh, I dripped on it. It's the very first thing I put on a mug. There we go. To get that out of the letters. Is a skull with crossed needles saying yarn. And you cannot say it any other way. You have to say yarn. You don't talk about stash size. Sung to the tune of "We Don't Talk About Bruno." Yeah. I've not seen the movie yet, but everybody knows the name of the song, right? There it is again. Gotta say it. Yarn. And then we have a Game of Thrones reference, which kind of like it works even if you don't know what Game of Thrones is. You know, it says that's what I do. I knit and I know things instead of I drink and I know things, which we make that one too. And then this one is an Outlander reference, which since the book just came out and there's a what season 6 is out, I expect it to be real popular right now. Lallybrock Wool Company. Let's see. Oh, your hand stuck. The I might use the wall grinder on it to see if I could make that line smoother so it doesn't look like that. So just set that one aside for a bit.
On the same shelf that was on?
Separate it so we don't get it confused. Another Lallybrock. And then Star Wars May the Fleece Be With You. Oh, good, yeah. I don't know if it's because we had the like kiln going in here last night, but like it feels really humid back here. Although with the kiln going, it should feel drier, but I don't know if it's supposed to rain today or not. I broke out my capris and my sandals today, so I'm hoping that like I can keep wearing them. The last time I got excited and got out my sandals and stuff, I had like one day to enjoy it and then went back to my boots. Like a bad luck groundhog, yes. Looking for things that are right in front of me. Story of my life. Yo, you're still salty because it was supposed to be in the high 70s on Easter and you had a new dress to wear and it was in the low 40s and raining, so you couldn't, yeah. Or at least you couldn't wear it without a big heavy jacket. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it was here. I'm sure everybody had their Easter dresses and they had to cover them with a coat. Oh, it's lightweight and white, and you would have frozen your legs off. Mm, these are not wanting to release. Oh, got to look like I've got till Monday. Then it'll be in the 60s again. Okay. Dare I say it? Are we gonna get a weekend without rain? Did I just jinx it, or are we gonna get a weekend without rain? Say it very quietly. Oh, Triceratops, congratulations. Yeah, he said you've lost 85 pounds and you wanted to show off in your new dress. Yes. Well, I can understand more now. I can understand why you said you're so salty. Show off those skinny legs. I don't know what this one will be. Ocean Eyes, hello. Good afternoon. And thank you for the follow. Yeah, hamster, I don't think there's any point in you setting up shelves till you fall asleep. Yeah, see, like this one was setting out on top and it's already dried. So put it back in the tub and use it later. Cats, yes. We have 2 cat lumps over here. They are our supervisors, and they're working hard, I tell you. The supervisors, they give their stamp of approval on every piece. I think I can do better than that. That one looks like a 3-toed cat. There we go. Yeah, and you like our color chart? Yes, we had been talking about doing that for like a year, and we finally did it. And I need to add more to it because not all of them are there. That way, I can point to what I'm talking about when I'm glazing, because the colors don't look anything like the finished colors. They're completely different in the bucket than they are once they go through the firing. So I can say this is going to look like that, and if you want to see what more of the colors are, or see like bigger pictures, there's a command called colors with an S, and that'll take you as a link. It's a link to our color chart. So this is how the mugs come together. Make the mug, make the handles, and then the medallions, and then glue them all together at the same time. The glue I'm using is just watered down clay. So it's the same clay I used to make the mugs, because it's my water bucket from when I was making the mugs. There we go. There's the usual, like the colors of the cap of the marker or the paint and the colored pencil. They're not quite the same, but they nothing like glazes. Yeah.
Guess it's got fun. So guys, a small little ship.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I can refire that one. Good catch. All right, Kira, have a good night. Here's a sewing reference from Master Yoda. Sew or sew not, there is no try.
I split the cat and water. Is there like a mop back here or something?
No, there might be some paper towels up front. Oh, yeah. Yeah, some of these are even just barely dry enough at all, and I made them yesterday, so. Humidity. Once I get used to making everything and making and assembling things all in one day, then the humidity comes. There's a little bitty air bubble in there. I did not want it to become a bigger crack or an explosion. This is another of the Star Wars ones. It says, "A long time ago in a yarn group far, far away." We have so many different yarny things because that's kind of how we started out in wholesale, was selling to yarn shops across the country and going to yarn shows. So we had a ton of these. And this one. I always love this one. Exterminate! Exterminate! Little Dalek carrying around his knitting. Right, just another 600, no problem. I gotcha. What were you talking about? No sleep? Minnie and Kiba will sleep for me. Sweet pea. See, that's what an air bubble looks like when you find it in the side of the mug. Little cavity there, but soft enough you can just squish it back into shape. Yeah, I'm having to use like I hesitate to say muscles, but like thought processes I haven't had to use in a while. Like, okay, what were the most popular things we sold at Yarny shows? Because we haven't done one for over, was it over 2 years? It'll be 3 years since we've done this one. Like, well, what used to do good at Maryland? Oh yeah, I remember that. Except for like orders, this is probably the first time in that many years that I've purposefully made a bunch of the Yarny ones. It's like revisiting old friends. Oh, Hamster, I don't know if you're still here. I'll text you this, but I was going to tell you now. On the website under the Star Trek mugs, you have a graphic that's for like the Federation graphic. Maybe is that what it's called? Don't like don't get mad at me if I got it wrong. Um, someone we need a stamp. We need that in a stamp because someone has ordered it, and it has never been a stamp. We found something that we've never made into a stamp. It's like speaking of things we haven't done in a while. I've got the make it so here. Rebel Federation scum. Oh, the tiles are over here. Let's put them back on the tiles. think I've got like 3 or more to do. Looking for a special tool. Which one next? We'll make another Yoda. One more. Jenna Rod, thank you for the follow. And welcome to the studio, everybody. Just trimming this down a little bit. Now, after I do this one, I do have a couple more mugs to put together. But they've got a texture on them. I've got some of the sweater mugs that I need to finish up. Again, something else I haven't made except for just custom orders in a while. Another exterminate. So these are the same mugs that I made that I'm just working on. Make the mug body, and then I rolled out a thin slab of clay and pressed this texture into it, the knitted texture, and then wrapped that around the mug. And I've got one more little bit of texture I want to put on here. Just need a little bit of water. Artroverted, thank you for the follow. I like that name. So I've got a little extruder here, an itty bitty extruder that you can find. Like, you can find these things at any craft store. And they come with different dies, so you can make really small details. You'll find them in like the polymer clay or jewelry section, because that's what they're meant for. But it lets me make different smaller texture bits. So fill it with clay, and then it spits out your shape. This one is 3 circles put together. And I take that and then give it a gentle twist so that it looks like a braided cord. There we go. And this should go all the way around the rim of this mug. So let's see. And I'm just like globbing the slip on there. Hey, Paul. Good afternoon. Yep, just had a little bit left over. They make those for Play-Doh too, and probably a little bit bigger though, don't they? Just make sure this is pressed in and attached. Kind of finishes off the rim there. Muggin'. We are making it quite muggy in here. So far I've just been trying to get a grip on things, putting handles on the mugs and such. Okay, and I can use this little bit extra clay. To make a button. And I need a little bit more because I want more than one button. I probably should look and see what like Play-Doh tools they have out there. They would be probably be very useful. Smooth that out a little bit first, and then put that on the bottom, and then we'll give it some buttonholes. And I'm not trying to make things look like realistic or anything. I'm just creating a texture and a hint. But where the seam is, where I bring everything together, that's where I put the buttons, because it looks like it's holding everything together. You love the look of the knit mugs. Aren't they nice? Like, I haven't made them just to make them for a long time, except for just for orders, because we haven't had a show to go to. But they are nice. Well, once I get done with them, like, unless I bump them into something and squish it. And that is something to worry about with these. Like, I have to be very careful that I don't, like, mar the texture very much. But now I'm going to put a handle over here. It's about right there. And they still get the cat stamp of approval. Yeah, I always kind of like dread having to make these because they're so time consuming, but then they look so good. There we go. So there's our sweater mug. I do not do a cable knit version. This is the only one we've done. What now? You got a 3 set of cable knit mugs in Ireland and they all dissolved with hot water? What were they made of? That makes no sense. Dissolved in water? What were they? They were... I've thought if we were going to make a lot of these to do a new stamp and make the texture bigger so that it might be easier to do something like that. How does a mug dissolve in hot water? It couldn't have been clay, right? Was it chocolate mugs? Whoa! When you used them for the first time, the glaze cracked and the mugs fell apart. Oh no! That is a horrible fit for clay and glaze. That was not fired hot enough. But yeah, if we were still doing a whole lot in the fiber industry, like I might consider doing different textures and stuff. And one thing I would like to do is like colors. This is why I thought to making the texture bigger, like having the texture be white and having a color behind it, just so it would be two-tone. But that's very complicated. Or being able to like paint like that. This would be super time consuming, but like paint patterns on the stitches. Paul would. Do you have pictures of them? Oh, really? We're talking about the sweater mugs. Paul said they got some cable knit sweater mugs in Ireland, but when they used them for the first time, the glaze started cracking and falling off, and the whole mug fell apart. And that's what a non-food safe mug looks like. Like I think that's what would happen if someone tried to like drink out of the raku pots because they're just not fired high enough. Okay. Yeah, yeah, Triceratops. If anybody brings liquid near your raccoon needle holder, you're gonna box their ears. So just making some buttons. And then I've got to do this again because I've got some of the sweater yarn bowls. Yeah, that was the only souvenir she wanted from Ireland, and then they were badly made. Oof. And buttons and handles right there. Ooh, almost done with dinner. Okay. So there's another sweater mug, and I tend to make these in just in the solid colors because it really makes the texture pop. I feel like if you make them in too many colors, then it just gets too busy. But I didn't check to make sure the rim was done. There we go. And then I've got the bowl that'll be the same. Now I'll need 2 of these for the bowl. Alright. Let me find the seam. I've got one I'm going to have to get creative with, because one, the bowl is a little bit wider than the texture, so I'm going to have to like make laces or something. I wonder if I should just put the, if I can do this without making a huge mess. Put the, if I can keep it all on one side. Instead of smearing it all over the bowl. There we go. And then there we go. All right, now time for some buttons. Right, working smarter, not harder. See, I was wondering after looking at the picture, it's like 2 layers. I'm like, I wonder if we could do that with I mean that's a very detailed texture. The 2 layers of stamp is what is I'm wondering if you have to make 2 different stamps and then layer them on the mug. Yeah, but cleaning it up is just like, smoothing it out, with my finger or with a sponge. It's not that big of a deal. It's just there's no good way to just kind of put it on there with what I've got. I could make up a piping bag with the slip, but I haven't had to do that in a while. So sometimes I would have one of those available and just like putting it on a cake with a piping bag around there and then put the texture on, but I think that works better. All right. And now I've just got to cut a yarn bowl hook. Now that I've made this, I've got to cut holes in it, but it'll be opposite of the buttons. Be on the other side. All right, I got 3 of these to do. Yeah, the wrinkles at the bottom, and those are like just the little pleats because they're just instead of trying to smooth it out and like cut and blend it together, just it looks like fabric. Just fold them over. Arc, the one that Paul has, like the one I see is white, and it looks like it's just I mean, it's a slip cast mug, so it was just that was the texture that was carved into the plaster, and then it looks like it just has a white glaze, and the white glaze settles. You know, it's lighter where the glaze is thinner and darker where it's settled into, kind of like the way I glaze these. Yeah, don't drop it. Like I said, just drop it. Okay, now we got enough to finish this. We do. Let's add some more slip. Now make some buttons. Yeah, I don't even think I have a sweater textured piece to show you what they look like when they're glazed. So we'll just have to wait and see how these turn out. All right. So there it is. My buttons instead of my bubbles. My buttons. Now this one I'll have to get creative with because I've got a big gap right here, so I could make like I could put the buttons on one side and have little strings holding them to the other. There we go. Make sure this is, yeah, it's going to be plenty. So we'll do that. Let me blend the two ends together. All right, now to figure out how we're going to blend these two sides. How are we going to connect this? So my thought was to put buttons like there and right there, and then one at the bottom again, like that. And then make little like strings to attach to this side. Should I put a button on each side so that and have little X's going to them? Should it be like that and have two things, or have the buttons be on one side? I could put this one in the middle, I guess. A little bit on that side. What do you think? Or I could make like a giant button and just cover the whole thing. That's what this could be. like the snowman buttons that are like... So we could have like a great big huge honking button here, and then have like the little one like right there, and then the one at the bottom. What do you think? Any opinions? You like the big one, and then have the smaller ones underneath it, or have nothing at all with the little ones? There we go. Kind of improvised on that one. So this one will be one we definitely take to the show because it's kind of special. Okay, got all those done. Got the mugs done. Cover everything up, put my paw print stamp back into my box because I am so bad about losing that, and I don't want to lose it. That will be a yarn bowl, yes. So I'm gonna go cut holes in it. But it's still really soft right now, which it has to be soft to put all the texture on and such. So I still can let it dry out a little bit. I don't have to do it right now. Oops. All right, so I'm gonna find my wax over here. I don't know where the brush went. Need to add a little bit of water to that. Kiba's like, did I hear a water bottle? He's like, I think I heard a water bottle. Sound asleep, huh? Hey, buddy. That is Minnie's foot. Oof. Hey there. Sleepyhead. Kiba. Hey, buddy. Gonna step away. Like, I think this is fairly stable. Like, I don't think he would cause it to like flip over, but I'm gonna move my wax off of it while I step away. Actually, we'll see. Oh, look, it's good. Okay. But I'm sure he's gonna try to sit on the very corner, the most unstable corner of it all. Yeah, buddy. You just gonna sit here and stare at the camera? He's like, no, I'm gonna ask for pets. Yeah, cat will test. Yes, test the stability of any table. Just just stay there, please. You're being so helpful, buddy. Welcome to the cat stream. I actually had more of this wax than I thought I did. Well, I'm gonna leave y'all with that view. What? Here we go, buddy. There we go. It is what you wanted. You want a hug. He will let you do this all day long. He is a cuddle bug. I need one more of these. Oh, I saw that. I saw that. Ooh, don't do that, please. Kiba, oh, now we don't know. We don't know exactly. We've had Kiba for 13 years. So we just add a year because he was full grown when he came to us, so we just say he's 14. Thanks, buddy. He is a groomer. He is. He loves it. But he will sit there and groom the exact same spot forever if you let him, and it will like wear on you. Yes, I love you too. Ooh, I got a ticklish spot. Let me clean it out. A little bit of clay in there for flavoring. So what I'm doing is doing a little bit of prep for another glaze. I'm glad I dropped that instead of the mug. I saw everything starting to tilt. Cat. Here. No, just come this way. Just come this way. There you go. Whew. At least I held on to the mug, right? Same as yours. She's almost 14, yeah. Where is my stamp? There it is. So I wonder if I have anything else I can put under here. No, that's not thick enough to make it stop wobbling. It's not bad. It's just got a bit of a wobble to it. Now I can bring the wax back. Yeah, and he's never had any like huge like health problems. Like we've had other cats that had to be on the prescription food for kidney or like urinary tract issues, thyroid issues, stuff like that. But he's been good. I always think that like stray cats are just naturally healthier than some that you can get because they've I guess they survived to be a stray cat. I need a sponge because that one didn't make a good impression. A little bit better. Paul, welcome back. Nope. Might be time to add some more underglaze. The predominant colors I'm going to be using today are going to be the black and the gray. So a lot of these are going to be Starry Night, and then I've got a lot of the Stormy Skies to do. Since I've got a lot of pieces to glaze, I've been trying to pick just a couple of colors and then doing those. Oops. Missed a little bit, but that's why I use the food coloring on the wax. So it can show me where I've made a mistake. Minnie's all twitchy over here. So the wax acts as a resist, yes. Go in and color these separately or just leave them. So we've put the black glaze in the medallion. So that is glaze, and then clean that up, and then I put the wax over it, and then after, when the wax dries, which is almost immediately, once I get all of them waxed, I'll start glazing them, and then I'll dunk these all in a solid color, and then layer colors on top of them. So the wax will protect the graphics that I've got here, so I don't end up scrubbing it all off, and then it just burns off in the kiln. But yeah, so the medallions are going to stay just like they are. Once I put wax over it, they're done. and you can't remove the wax without the kiln, technically you can sand it down. So I like if I have a drip or if I leave a thumbprint somewhere, I can sand it down and it won't affect, it'll get rid of it. So no, it's not like once it's there it has to burn off. But if I like one time I forgot to put the glaze in the pot, and I just didn't even look, and I just started putting wax on it. For that, I just put it back in the kiln and did put another bisque, because there was no way I was going to spend the time to sand and scrape all the wax out of that. So in that situation, I had to put it back in the kiln. But little mistakes you can sand away, but not big ones. There are other things. There's like liquid latex, which you see used a lot when in like the manicure, like fingernail painting industry, whatever it might be called, beauty industry. But you can buy big jugs of it to use at clay supply stores, because you can paint, make marks and then glaze and then peel it off, because it's not going to stick. And so people use that a lot if you're wanting to have different layers of things. But the liquid latex is more expensive, so I can get a gallon jug of the wax for $20. It costs $20 for a pint of the, or at least it did. I'm sure it's gone up by now. It costs $20 for a pint of the latex. And the wax, there's something else in it, but it like in a pinch, I've used Elmer's glue before to use as a wax resist, like thin it down some, and it works. It's very similar. But I hesitate to say it's just Elmer's glue. I'm sure there may be something else in it, but I just had a little green dot splash on the edge there. I sand it down, and then I don't see a little dot resisting the water anymore, so I've got it. Hey Tully, good afternoon. It was the Awkward Potter gifting subs earlier. So it comes down to practice, but I make the application of the wax look easy. Oh, really? What type of resist do you use? Is it a different material? Well, I'm not being like delicate with it. I'm just like washing it on, you know? Though if I have to put it, like if I'm trying to put it on like the Elvish script where I put it on where it's real delicate work and I don't want it to just run everywhere, I don't water it down. I make it a bit thicker so that it's doesn't want to run. Yours is a latex base for painting miniatures and such, but it just seems to get everywhere, really. Well, a latex, in my experience, is a lot stickier. So, like, I've used some waxes that were really sticky, and I never used those again once I got rid of it because, like, it took a long time to dry. So you'd get some on your finger, and then you have it everywhere. Everything you touched, you have to go sand down. So it was annoying. So is the latex you're using there? So is that like the latex resist where you can peel it off of again once it dries, or is it kind of like done? That's it. But then it never really comes off, or it takes the paper with it. Oh, never tried it on paper. But the clay is a porous surface, and it comes off the clay really easily. So, and I don't know what all is in the liquid latex, but it's got to be something that it's something they mix themselves, where I get it from, the ceramic supply place I get it from. So I get the feeling it may be another product we might be familiar with, like under another name, but they market it as latex resist, liquid latex. So how do you normally use it? Because I've got some here. I can go get it and then play with it and see what it does. Because I've only ever used it on the clay itself. But it's good because you can use it on the raw clay or on something that's been glazed, because the glaze is powdery and nothing likes to stick to it. So trying to put tape on top of a glaze is near impossible. But you could put the latex or the wax on top of a glaze and it'll stick. Let me see if I've got it over here still. Now that I said I have it, but I'm going to make sure. Or if it's one solid glob now. I don't immediately see it. Mm-mm. Nope. So for you, like with sculptures, you'd paint out an eye or an area of detail on an outfit, then you can paint around it without it covering, right? But it doesn't work well. Hmm. And so the material you're painting the latex onto is you're painting it onto like resin or the polymer clay. And I've also noticed like the thicker thicker it is, the easier it comes off. So if you brush on a really thin coat, then it may not want to come off as easy. Yeah, it's not porous. Yeah. Yeah, Paul, if you want to see the stuff that I've used before, go to Mid South Ceramic Supply. And the liquid latex they have there is what I've used. I mean, you might have to. It comes in pints. I don't know if they come in. It comes in any smaller amounts, so it may not. I don't know if you need that much, or if it'd be worth buying something like that. But their liquid wax is what I like too. I've used other brands. Like I said, some of them were sticky, and I just didn't like it. And I never plan far enough ahead to let everything. Some of it says like the wax needs to dry for 24 hours, and I never give myself that much time. I need something that dries instantly. It's not dry yet. The wax is. The wax is water soluble. I actually don't know about the latex. That I don't know. Yeah, so for me, being able to water it down a little bit gives me some more control over it. And it makes it last a little bit longer. But then, it can just burn off in the kiln. I don't have to worry about removing it any other way. See if I can do this. Just filling in some areas that were a little bit thinner here. Making sure the glaze is going to be thick enough so it's not blotchy. Fill in our little goat shape. Let that dry a little bit. And I've got my stamp pad. Putting our logo on the bottom. There we go. The store's coming together slowly. It's not, we were not like ready to open as soon as we got the keys. We had to get everything in there. We're still waiting on, supplies from or inventory from other people to come in and really like we're at the farmers market. We've got like Maryland Sheep and Wool, which is one of the biggest show, normally one of our biggest shows of the year, that we're not going to give up, and trying to do that at the same time. So I'm trying to make inventory for 3 places, as well as decide on what stock, what do we want to carry from other people, design how the store's gonna, be laid out. So I feel like I'm making phone calls all morning, like bugging people, trying to get signs and bags and everything printed here and there, and then my afternoons and evenings working on just making things. So we're having growing pains, is what we're having. We are getting another couple of kilns installed. I have, like, the two big ones I have are kind of good for what they do. I use one for biscuing and one for glazing. And then I've got some smaller ones we just acquired from a school like the next county over that was getting rid of them. So we got them for a little of nothing. So we're getting those installed in here. Yeah, the store was like, it was an opportunity we had been looking for, but it came like once we got it, we couldn't say no, so we have it, and we're trying to get everything done at once. So I just keep telling myself, like, it'll come together. It's not going to be perfect the day we open. We're not going to be, have everything the way we want it. It's always going to be a work in progress, but that's what everything is. We're probably not going to have a sign for another 2 months, but except for the what we can put on the window, or the front door. So we're still going to have somebody else's sign up for probably a couple months. But we'll get there. We're learning how to operate things in the big city of Nashville, of Nash Vegas. Hey, Golden Brown Mix, good afternoon. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect at first, yeah, because if you spend all the time and effort to make it perfect, once you open, you'll still find things that are wrong, yes. No, the only signs we're allowed to have there are, we have an awning that is right above the door. Like, we can't put anything on the building. You cannot. We have a blade sign, which is the projection, not projection sign, that kind of sticks out and hangs down. It's kind of a swingy sign. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's 6 a.m. 6 a.m. there. I'm like, oh yeah, you're way ahead of us. You're talking to us from tomorrow, aren't you? So we're gonna have an awning with our logo, and then we have a blade sign that'll hang down. It's a 4 foot wide sign, so it's not as small as it looks on a 30-story building, but yeah. But it's something that people can see from the street. And we were going to put out like a little like flag that said, now open, or whatever, until they tell us to take it down. That's kind of the rule that the rule of thumb that we've learned just in the month that we've been, or just this year dealing with people and talking about how you get things done is you do something and wait for somebody to tell you no and not to do it. So it's because this place, it's downtown. There's not a back door. There's no, like, the only access is the front door, and so everything has to be loaded in through the front, and it's just right on the street. There's nowhere to really park and unload. So everybody says, just pull up on the sidewalk until somebody tells you to move, and then just make the block and come do it again. If the cops tell you to move, just go around the block and come do it again. Just park again until they tell you to move again. Yeah, forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness before permission. Yeah. Okay, go feed the gremlins. Gremlins' youngest has a concert tonight. Oh, good luck to him. And have a good night. What else do I need over here? I've got. Did I get a 10 ounce Big Mutts? I don't think I did. Have a 20 ounce and travel mugs. I found one. So sometimes it's kind of funny the shorthand we use here to describe things, but this one's pretty self-explanatory. It says, I like big mutts and I cannot lie. So I just call it the Big Mutts mug. These are the mugs I had to remake because we had the kiln disaster a few weeks ago that where the glaze ran and stuck all of these mugs to the, not all of them, but a good 2/3 of these mugs to the kiln. So they're getting their second chance now. see those. Whoa, hello, how are you? It's been a little while. Copter X, thank you for the follow. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thursday. Or happy Friday morning for some of you. If you're talking to us from the future. And see Bud. Welcome, welcome. I have been doing several things today. We assembled some mugs. We assembled some double yarn bowls. We made some sweater mugs and sweater yarn bowls. And now I'm prepping for a glaze because I think I can get a good amount of glaze on these pots today and then start it tomorrow. Ninja Girl, you've been lurking. It's perfectly all right. You went for a walk because it's beautiful outside. Ooh, good. So I messed up a little bit. Yeah, you're getting storms again. Yep. I bumped against this one before the wax was dry, so I knew I wouldn't see that later. So clean it up now so I don't forget about it. I know I saw at least one more of those over here. Oh, there's 4 more. Okay. Yes, it does. Haha. See, I'm just painting my an invisibility spell on my mugs. See, we call it wax, but what it really is magic. Painting holes in the mug, yes. It's fun when I'm doing like something bigger, like the bottom of a plate or something, and I can just paint on it, and it disappears as I paint it, and it's easier to see. So here, so see if I can do this without dripping. It's the Acme portable hole, yes. Wonder if I put a mug on it, the word Acme, like on a mug, if anybody would get it. Oh, these are going to be with the gray ones too. It probably is trademarked. It probably is, with it being Looney Tunes and Warner Brothers. It probably is. I wonder. I never knew. Like, was Acme like? Did it mean something since it was used in all of the Bugs Bunny things, and especially like Roadrunner and Coyote? Did it have like a hidden meaning at the studio, or was it just something they used because they just used over and over because they could? I remember learning one time like why Bugs Bunny always like chewed on a carrot, because it makes people think that rabbits eat carrots, but they don't. Like, you hear all these warnings with people with bunnies, like, do not feed them carrots. It's not good for them. It's like, well, why did they do that with Bugs Bunny then? But because it was like a reference to a Clark Gable movie that at the time everybody would have gotten, but now it's been the reference has been lost. Where it was supposed to be just represented like a cigar or something. And so now people just think rabbits like carrots. Let's ask Google. To the Googles. Airy Artistically Foolish, thank you for the raid. Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. I'm just here prepping for a glaze. Getting some of my pieces ready before I actually apply the glaze to the rest of the mug. I'm filling in the medallions with black glaze, so the texture and the graphics will show up. And then putting wax on it. We're creating, I'm actually erasing the mugs. That's what I'm doing. I'm erasing them. There we go. So Acme is from the word Acme, A-K-M-E, which means the peak or the highest. So it literally means the best company, really. Well, there you go. Acme is Greek. So they changed it to A-C-M-E. I like that. I never knew that. We were talking about what were the origins of the word Acme from, like, all the Bugs Bunny cartoons. This is the logo of Rock Bottom Soap. They make goat milk soaps. So the goat, that's the reason for the goat on here. And they sell our mugs in their retail store. They are a store in London, Kentucky. Northeast Kentucky. Right outside of Lexington. I carry their soaps and they carry my mugs. So, Ari, what were you doing today? What were you working on? Yeah, thank you again for the raid. And then I put wax over this to protect it from the other colors I'm going to put on here so that it doesn't get smeared or wiped away. Oh yeah, put it over here. Did I miss something? Are you doing a raku firing? Yeah, these do not go through, are not going to be raku fired. These are going to be fired to cone 6 in a electric kiln in an oxidation environment. Yeah, the stuff you're working on, nice. What type of raku do you do? Or I have experience doing the copper, using the copper glaze, the copper reduction, and then we do a lot of the horsehair. Raku can be so much fun, and it's we're getting to the weather now that if as long as it doesn't rain, it's fairly comfortable to do it outside. Ari, where are you at? Where are you at in the world? Oh wow, you went to a workshop and they accidentally broke one of your Lockharts, so they offered to glaze and fire a few of them. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, you're in California. Do they? I bet they have to be super, super careful with the raku process out there, because with all the
Is this
danger of
universal
fires.
for?
Yes, we have some. Some people in Oregon who say that they do predominantly raku firing, but because I asked them one time because it was like during wildfire season, I'm like, how are you firing things during wildfire season? and and they're like, no, they have to have like a sprinkler system set up and have like do everything on like a concrete pad far away from anything flammable and the place you went to was in an industrial part of town. Yeah, so I'm sure they've got all the safety stuff in check. 'Cause I assumed out there there'd be a lot more rules around having like an open fire somewhere. Oh, okay, gotcha. Not sure where it is, but you went with a coworker and students. Well, that was fun that you got to go with them. I think I've got time to do just a few more. Is there anything else that just needs to be black or gray? I'm prepping a little bit for a glaze. I've got some, I can do some bigger things too, see what I want to make. Stormy skies, anything with gray or black, so starry night, sunrise, or bloody. I'll leave them here. May the force be with you. I was putting together some of the yarny ones today that said, may the fleece be with you. Oops, let me touch this one up. I tell you, I'm getting the munchies. What's everybody having for supper? All I've had is breakfast today. Had a late breakfast, but that's still all I've had. Teacher Geek Tay, hello. Good afternoon. Clear soup with meatballs and rice. Ooh. That sounds good. Spook, you haven't had breakfast yet. Have you been asleep all day? Is this your morning? When did you get up? You know, that was the thing about midnight shift is that, like, I never wanted to eat. So it was always easier for me to, like, lose weight on midnight shift. Guess because my body was just too confused to know what to do. And I didn't have the energy to cook. Whereas other people said that midnights was the hardest time for them because they just ate everything in sight. Yeah, they're so much fun, the F-bomb mugs. And I first made them because of a joke that a lady we used to work with made because she had like her car worked on at a garage and like so it was like couldn't say enough good about him and so she was like so happy with how they did everything and when they asked her for a review or what asked how everything went she's like I've got a complaint. There weren't near enough f-bombs. I didn't hear near enough f-bombs when I walked in there and so that was the only thing she could say bad about him. But so they sent her some cupcakes with f bombs on them, and I love that story so much. I'm like, I should make an f bomb mug. Yeah, just don't drop this one. Yes. Like the next time I have a mug that doesn't have a bottom, I should make a mug or a cup or a mug or something that has like no bottom on it, like it have it's hollow, and just put my and put the like a jar of fucks on it, so that it can be empty. Let's see what else we got over here. Like it may be in the kiln just now being fired, but I need one that says "as you wish." Let's see if I could find it anywhere. Well, I know I have one in the kiln, so I'll just let that cool down a little bit. So I think this is a good stopping point. I am going to um, get some supper because I'm hungry. Like I said, I've got the munchies. So thank you guys for watching. This is something I haven't done very often today. Is like put handles on the mugs on stream, and then we actually made up some medallions, assembled the mugs. We've got the sweater bowls and the sweater mugs together. I've got to cut the yarn bowl hook in them, but again, something I haven't made in a little while is the sweater textured yarn bowls. So we put these together today, and I'm going to cut the yarn bowl hook on the opposite side here from the buttons, and then the mugs to match them. And then tomorrow, like I want to get the majority of this glaze started tonight, as far as like getting the layering the colors on them, and then maybe start it tomorrow. But I want to be throwing tomorrow morning so that I can give the pieces long enough to dry out, because what I've been running into with it being so humid here the past couple of days or this past week is that throwing in the afternoon doesn't give things enough time to dry out. So I'm going to try throwing in the morning. So if I don't see you again, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. If I don't see you again, but I'm going to be here tomorrow. And thank you so much for watching. Don't go away just yet. I'm going to find somebody to raid. Let's see who's on right now. Looks like we got some wood turning. I think he's making pins. Woodcraft by Owen. Let's go see what he's doing. All right, guys, have a good evening. I'll see y'all later.